Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome back to Slang of Ages podcast. Here we are sitting in season number seven, beginning of 2005, and I'm very fortunate to have Monica Mitchell back on the podcast. How are you, Monica?
I'm doing great.
Oh, great. It's good to see you again. Monica has contributed intro vocals to a number of episodes, and I think you were last on in season five, episode one, where we talked about Janelle Monáe. Was that? Yeah, I think that was it. Was that the
Oh
last time?
yeah. Yeah. I think so, yeah.
In this episode, which will, by the time it broadcasts, will be episode number three of season seven, is an album which you mentioned to me several months ago because I asked for a list from you, Cheryl, and Susan. You gave me a pretty comprehensive list, as did Cheryl and Susan. This is one I was intrigued about. It's called Ego Death by the band Internet. So, how did you find out about this band?
So one day I was listening to 92Q in Baltimore, and they used to have the Love Jones in the evening where they played the slow jams.
Hmm.
And I was sitting in the car and the song came on and just it's like the sound of it's like if you close your eyes, you could feel the music. And I was like, I had to figure out who it was. So I had to Shazam it and I found out it was the internet and I've been a fan ever since. And I think that was 2015
Okay.
uh, when I first heard about them and I found the album and been to a couple concerts and, since. So
Oh,
I'm a
you saw them
fan.
live.
Twice, yeah.
Where?
Well, I won tickets on 92Q to Trilectro at Merriweather Post Pavilion, and SZA was the headliner, but the internet opened for her.
Hmm.
And then there was another time when um they had, I think it was their third album come out. It
Hmm.
was oh, I know that. Hive Mind. It was the
Right. Hi.
Hive Mind tour. Yeah, and they were at the Fillmore in Silver Spring. And I went to go see them. And that was a great show. I had a lot of videos from that. They sang some songs from Ego Death too. So I got just videos from everything. I can relive the moment every time I, want to reminisce.
Ah, very good. Well,
Mm-hmm,
thank you for bringing the internet to my attention. And like I
mm-hmm,
said, today we're talking about the album you just mentioned, Ego Death, which was their third release, released on June 26, 2015, and
mm-hmm,
distributed by Columbia Records. And they're a band
mm-hmm.
out of LA. So let's talk about some of the stats before we get into the songs. The album was a big hit in New Zealand. It was number eight in New
Oh,
Zealand. It was number 89 on the Billboard 200, which is pretty good, but it
mm-hmm.
also number nine on the top R&B slash hip hop charts on Billboard as well. So
Wow.
pretty respectable showing for the third album.
Yeah.
They have really gotten a lot of worldwide acclaim from a lot of music journalists for their albums.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty popular with the critics, and they are pretty popular with other musicians as well. As we mentioned, Ego Death was their third album. Before that, you
Mm-hmm.
had 2013's Feel Good, and before that, you had 2011's Purple Naked Ladies. And then the album after Ego Death was Hive Mind, as you mentioned, in 2018. And they have been kind of dormant since then. They've done some tours. They've talked about the album after Hive Mind, but they haven't released it. And it's been, what, it's been 6 years now. Um,
Yeah.
their lead singer and a leader, Sid, has had some solo work, as had their producer, because I have Eagle Death on
Mm-hmm.
on record vinyl, but I also have
Um,
Steve Lasse's latest album, who is their producer now and a guitarist on vinyl as well. So they're
mhm.
still active
Yeah.
in the music world. Don't
Mhm.
know what's going on with internet because, as I mentioned, they were supposed to do another album
Mhm.
after Hide Mine, but hasn't materialized yet. And
Yeah.
also, if you go to their website, it's not there.
Oh
So
yeah.
I don't know what's going on with the band, despite the fact that they were so popular.
Yeah.
So the
Hmm.
band members are Sid, lead
Hmm.
singer. She does some keyboards on track four,
Hmm.
synthesizers and backing vocals, an executive producer. Then you have Mark Martians, producer, drums on most of the tracks, synths and some backing vocals, also an executive producer role. Then you have Patrick Page the third, who did bass on most of the songs and guitar on one song and drum on one song.
Hmm.
Christopher Allen Smith on drums as well and helped with production and percussion. Jamel Bruner, who did percussion and also keyboards, additional synths and organs. And the person I mentioned, Steve Lassie, who handled the production but predominantly for the album with Sid, did bass on most of the album and did guitar on almost every song and was also listed as a feature artist and executive producer. So I think this was actually Steve Lassie's first work with the band. He's pretty noted as a producer, and they really wanted him involved, and he was very happy to be involved. And
Okay.
as we mentioned, the album was the third, came out June 30th, 2015, with a lot of acclaim by the critics. And
Hmm.
didn't have any big pop hits, but did definitely make a dent on the R&B and rap chart. So
Hmm.
they are 12 songs, plus there's some bonus songs. I think they're on the vinyl edition, of 13 additional, two additional bonus songs.
Oh,
But they're
nice.
12 songs, and we're going to talk about just a few of our favorite songs from the album.
Mm.
So let's start with the second song on the album, which is called Gabby. What are your thoughts on
Hmm.
Gabby, Monica?
So when I first got the album, it was like featuring Janelle Monáe, and we talked about that
Mhm.
on the Janelle Monáe, episode, and it's like, oh, where is she? Where is she? And I'm waiting, but it's like with a few of the songs on the album, they're like two-part songs.
Right?
So she's on the second part of this song, and you hear her doing her melodies and all of that, and it's just
Hmm.
adding her flavor to the song. But just like you know, majority of or all of the songs on the album, it's a mellow beat. It's a you know, I feel like this album dealt with a lot of like struggling with relationships, the
Yeah,
ups and downs with
I
relationships,
agree.
and Gabby was just another one, um, just struggling with coping in relationships, I guess, or just the ups and downs of trying to. Sorry.
Still there? Still there, Monica?
But yes. Okay, but yeah, um, just struggling with relationships in this song.
Yeah, I would agree, Monica. I think a lot of the songs are pretty overtly talking about Sid's relationships and what's going on with her. So she's a predominant writer.
Yeah.
Um, I would agree with you. One thing that immediately drew my attention to this album was Janelle Monáe's name. That
Yeah.
being said, it's a really well done song. The production is great. It has a great slow burning groove to it over a drum program. And then music wise, it has this really weird in modulation in terms of the melody, which I think is really
Mhm.
captivating. And the song was written predominantly by the entire band with Janelle Monáe as well. The lyrics start off with, well, Sid and Janelle Monáe trade verses and trade the hook as well. And
Okay.
then the first verse, go ahead, Monica, what'd you say?
No, no, I'm listening.
And then
I'm
the
learning.
first verse talks about, well, says, lately when I look into your eyes, I see indefinite trouble. Darling, as much as I love to try, I can't help but feel so far from you, yet I am in the terminal.
Hmm.
This probability looks so typical. This probability should be going home, but you make me want to stay, and I love your visual. So let's keep it digital, but baby, can you break me off before I fly away? Yeah. So relationships, troubled relationships, yearning,
Hmm.
kind of a common theme on this album, and I think that
Hmm.
song really sets it up well. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so because I mean, I guess the airport and the flight is that a metaphor for me leaving the relationship or her leaving the relationship? That's what I assume. So yeah,
yeah, I would agree with you there.
before I
Yeah,
find one.
excellent. So then let's jump to the next song on my list, which
Hmm.
is, I think, is it your favorite song, Under Control?
Oh well, yeah. So Under Control is, of course, my favorite song on the album, but in that song, she talks about just it's just well, I think when I researched it, she said that it was a song that she had written to her band. So it was like,
Okay.
pretty much saying, I got you, don't worry, if you hang with me, we're going to make it to the top together. And the lyrics are, I need you to know it's under control. I got it. And as it unfolds, I got you. I promise. You know that I'm on it. So it's just like, if you keep your faith in me, and this song is about friendship. The rest of the songs on the album, I think, are about love, but this one to me is more about her and her promise to her band that they'll be successful together.
Interesting. Yeah, um it's interesting you said that about them being all in one and going together because of the fact that they did kind of splinter apart in terms of the solo work that Sid has done. And I,
Mm-hmm.
I think you know her solo career better than I do. I know she's done at least what, two albums or so?
Yeah, and I the first album I have, and I know that album first. Her first album was really great. I just started listening to the second one that was like released during the pandemic.
Okay, I need to check that out. But yeah,
Hmm.
I like Under Control for a number of reasons. First of all, I think
Hmm.
that the music's really strong because
Hmm.
it's really fantastic melodic guitar hook, which just captures the song's essence. Again, that was done by Steve Lassie, the
Hmm.
co-producer. It's really
Hmm.
well done. Then this old school Fender Rhodes piano feel, and then Patrick Page's bass parts are just delicious. And then the lyrics are pretty direct, so absolutely I love it. Not maybe
Hmm.
not my favorite song on the album, but definitely a
Hmm.
great song. So very good. Now
Well,
let's
for me
roll.
also,
Go ahead.
also
What
for
was
me,
that?
like when I hear those lyrics, I kind of use them for my life. So it's like when I'm encouraging myself, is telling myself, I need you to know, I have this under control. Just, stick with it, stay on the course, and it'll work out for you. That's what it meant to me. That's probably why it's my favorite song, because I made those lyrics kind of, fit my life.
I agree with that. It's really a positive, uplifting message, which she says to the band, but she's also saying it to herself, and you can
Hmm.
apply it personally. So very good.
Hmm. Yeah,
Next
yeah.
song on my list
Hmm.
is the song Go With It, Go With It,
Hmm.
which
Yeah.
features Vic Mensa. Mensa
Hmm.
doing the rap. It has this good R&B bass hook on it. Again,
Hmm.
some percussion, drum percussion, and backing vocals, a pleading lead vocal.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts on sorry, Go With It, Go With It?
So well, what I noticed a lot about their music is that, well, they do have dance breaks in their songs, and this is one of the songs where you just shake, shake. You wanna take. I mean, if you're in a home at home by yourself and you're listening to this song, your shoulders might go, you might dance, but that and there's a lot of maracas. So,
Yeah.
but Vic Mensa is someone else who I was familiar with. Like if it was Janelle Monáe and um the internet and Miguel put Vic Mensa in the room with him and add some more to it. It's kind of like along the style of music that I like. Um yeah, and the melodies. I love the melodies in the song, and the message is kind of saying just go with the flow. And I guess when you get your dance break, you feel it and you shake, shake, you go with the flow. But it's another one of those, yeah, just upbeat songs. I like it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I know I started off by saying this was an R&B slash rap kind of album, and it really is because it has really strong conventional music backings in terms of guitar, bass, and drum,
Mm-hmm.
keyboards, electronic keyboards, Fender Rhodes. But then it has these really interesting modulations, which you get in hip hop
Mm-hmm.
programs, some played, and you have a great percussion. And here you have just a really weird modulation in the song, which just makes it I don't know, engrossing. And you have
Mhm.
lyrics like, I think Vic Mensa's first verse is "Pull up on my job and make him go to work. We hit the singles club. Her hips are double time. Got three finals this week, but she don't care. She got some money first. I understand to feel myself. I started from the dirt. Blah blah blah." So, um,
Boomers
personal
read the
lyrics,
lyrics.
interaction lyrics, dating
Mhm.
lyrics,
Mhm.
club lyrics, all there, and musically it's pretty strong.
And that well, they're also classified too as a funk band when
Yeah,
you look them up.
absolutely.
Yeah, and I like that you hear what is funk? Is that bass in there? That do 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 do. Is that
It's real electric bass, yes.
that's the sound I like. I like that sound, that funk sound. And that's not something that I'm familiar with. It's not a Baltimore sound. I mean, I guess if it's music, you hear music, but that's just not something that I would typically listen to. But when I heard them, I was like, what is this? I gotta listen.
I would disagree with you. I think it is a Baltimore thing, but it here, and this is a LA band, but it's a
Yeah.
combination of elements from,
Mm-hmm.
I hate to use this term old school, but it is
Mm-hmm.
R&B tricks with kind of hip hop grooves.
Okay.
Now, the thing that I like about it is that they're played. They're not programmed. They're not auto-tuned. They're
Mm-hmm.
not sequenced. These are actually most of these are played, and then you have some electronic percussion. You have some synthesizer accents, but it's just really well done.
And it was good to see them live, watching Steve Lacy on with his guitar doing a solo, and it just that was the first time I had seen something like that. Maybe I need to expand my horizons, but he was really good live too.
Ah, good to hear. All right,
Mm-hmm.
next up on my list is Just Saying slash I Tried. You want to start off
Yeah.
with this song?
So this is another song that's like one of those double songs. I think this song was like almost seven
Yeah,
minutes long.
yeah, it
Um,
is.
so it's pretty much her just saying like, I'm done with the relationship. Um, I'm doing better without you. You messed up, or what she say? You effed up. I can't. My uncle. I can't cuss. So pretty much. And then the second half of the song is I tried, pretty much saying I tried to work it out, but then she says, well, maybe when the sky is falling, maybe when the sky falls, maybe we'll get back together. So that means pretty much never. So pretty much
Ah,
I'm done. We're never getting back together. But it goes from a more of a funk beat again in the first half of the song, and then the second half
yeah.
of the song is more R&B and just like easing you out of it. Like I tried, but I'm done. It is what it is. So.
I mean, I think you hit it on the head. It does really tell a story of that relational arc. And
Mm-hmm.
then the I try part is, hey, I'm almost coming to grips with the fact it's not going to work. And I did my best and it's over and I'm moving on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I did, in the intro to the song is rock baby, rock baby, rock baby, rock baby. I don't love you no more, rock baby. And then the first verse is, um, used to be you and me, young and
Mm-hmm.
in love.
Love.
Honestly, used to think love was enough. Tell me who I gotta be to get you, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
to get you out from under me. So it's like she was annoyed, and she was like, I just want this to be over. I don't want
yeah,
you anymore. And I'm going to dance to it. I'm going to dance to not wanting to be with you and celebrating having a better life. I tried. I'm
she
done.
tried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I like again how you mentioned before that they have songs and they may have an interlude, and the I Try part is kind of the interlude, but it's better than most interludes in that it tells you the
Mm-hmm.
second half of the story. So the two really work together really well to make
Right.
one song. So very good. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
next song on my list, this is kind of we're bringing home here kind of quick, is
Okay.
Special Affair.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that one?
Yes. And that was one that at the concert, everybody knew. Um,
Really?
Yeah, everybody in the crowd was singing it. I recorded it too, but it's it's pretty much it's a party song, but it's very mellow. It's like we're here, we're relaxing. I think she says, what I bet this Patron will make you feel nice and comfortable. Try to act nice, girl, your cover's blown, but you
Uh-huh.
already knew that. So it's pretty much they're talking about smoking weed, they're talking about drinking, and when you even when you watch the video, because there are a few videos for this album, and they kind of help to kind of what is it, give you the visual. They
Give me the
kind of
context.
yeah, they
Yeah, yeah.
of the atmosphere, and it's like the music goes with that. It's a lot of like slow bouncing. You get that vibe. Oh, we're smoking, we're
Wow.
partying, everybody's doing these psychedelic looking dances, but that's how it makes you feel. It's like music you can relax to that has, something that probably relates to whatever, going through or what you've been through in that relationship. So
Yeah, I agree with you. It really is music that has multiple layers. You can
mhm,
look at it as just grooving music, bouncy music, sit down and listen, slow burning music. But
mhm,
lyrically, there's a lot of heft here, I think. In this song in particular, there's also a lot of heft in Special Affair. One thing I like about this music, which always attracts me to a song, is I like the Moog bass, that really
mhm,
deep guttural keyboard bass sound from the 70s.
mhm,
And it's
mhm,
connected with a drum machine, which works really well in this situation.
mhm,
It's just a great groove. It's a great throwback to 70s R&B and 80s R&B. Yeah, with the hip hop elements. Yeah, absolutely. Love the
the
whole feel.
bass. It's the bass.
Yes.
I love the bass. And then Tyler Creator is like the surprise on the second half because this is another double song.
Yeah.
Um, and what is that? That goes into okay, never mind. That
What?
goes
Go ahead.
into the Tyler the Creator. He's on Palace, right? We didn't get to
I
that
don't
one.
have which song he's on. I
I
think he's
think
on. I think it is the last song on Palace. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, he's
yeah.
on the last song, Palace. We can
Oh,
go to
okay.
that right now and come back to the other song I had on my list. What do you think about
Okay.
Palace? You did mention Tyler, the creator.
Yeah, so that one, I think they is there that one's like an upbeat groove too.
Uh-huh.
Huh? You know, but it's Tyler the Creator, he's singing in that one. I'm not too familiar with all of his music, but the songs that I've heard him on that he's featured in, I like him because he's with the artists that I listen to, like the internet.
Right.
Um, but that's also a mellow groove too. He's singing. I'm trying to think of the video. I don't know. You go ahead.
Now, this was the longest song of the album,
Mm,
at over 7 minutes long. I like the groove again. Steve Lassie does a wonderful job with the guitar parts.
mm-hmm,
And Palace is another song we talked about where you have that. I'm not sure if it's interlude's the right word because it's the last song on the album, but you have Curse, Palace
mm-hmm,
slash Curse. And Curse is really about, um, you know, getting the person you want to get, I guess. So musically, the song is good. It's a good end of the album as well.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. I agree.
So I do want to go back to one song we didn't talk about, which was Partners in Crime Part 3.
Okay.
Do you remember that one?
I am going to look up the lyrics right now because there were a few songs in the album that I didn't listen to as much.
Okay, well, this was one that I liked because of the harmony lead vocals, the harmonized lead vocals, the relationship discussion in the lyrics, the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing about, doing better, moving relationships forward. It kind of fits into the whole theme of um, arc of relationship, and I like the feel.
Oh,
I like the feel.
okay, yes, because it's almost like dun, 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 riding in
It's
the
exactly like that.
footstep.
Yes.
But it makes you feel like the vibe of that song is like that in a Western movie in the drop top driving down through the desert to me. That's what I picture when I hear that. Like, like some kind of renegade. But yeah, I like this song. It is a cool groove, just like everything else on the album. Yeah, another good one.
Another
Love.
good one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we covered half the album.
Mm-hmm.
Again, there are, I think I mentioned there were 13 songs on the album, no, 12 songs on the album. The vinyl special edition has 14 songs. The song
Mm-hmm.
Famous, song Missing You. And the album did
Mm-hmm.
pretty well for the band. And we talked about some of the singles as well. Is there anything else about the album that you want to say?
No, just that because I looked up the definition of ego death, and like it makes so much sense,
Mm,
with the songs and how they flow and how they go through like the relationship, the trials and tribulations in relationships. But one of the definitions was the a phase of transition, a phase of self-surrender and transition in death and rebirth mythology. So it's like this relationship is dying, and there's a rebirth in my life, and kind of moving past those things. That's kind of how I see it. I think it's a great album, and it was a great introduction to them because I didn't know of the internet until I heard them on Love Jones. So I've been a fan ever since. I'll spend some more money with them. I'll support the solo artists. Um, and I know next time I go to a concert, not to stand on the floor because short people can't see. So next time I go see them, I'll get a balcony seat.
ah.
I had to watch the whole concert with my arms fully extended through my phone. It was crazy,
Oh
but
my
it
God.
was a great show. Great show. Great show.
And I've learned over my years of going to concerts, never be on the floor. Always want
That
to
was
have
my first time.
I wish I have seen them live, and if they decide to regroup and tour,
Mm-hmm.
I certainly would do that. I know that
Mm-hmm.
Sid has been on the road. She's been on the road with her albums before,
Mm-hmm.
but again, most I can't find much about them about what's going on with the band now.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a pretty successful run. All four of their albums had done reasonably well, sold
Mm-hmm.
reasonably well, and streamed reasonably well. And
Mm-hmm.
I think this one is a great album to jump into internet if you're not familiar with them and then go
Yes.
back or go forward or check out the solo
Yes.
work like I have done. I have
Yes.
this on vinyl. I found a
Mm-hmm.
copy on Amazon. Then I found another copy at a local record store here in Atlanta. I
Nice.
highly recommend if people don't know the internet, check
Mm-hmm.
out Ego Death and let us know what you think. Monica,
Mm-hmm.
anything else you want to add?
Check out Hive Mind too. It's a great
I
album
mind.
too. Great messages, great more bass, more maracas. So I love them.
Great. Well, again, thank you for bringing this to my attention. Thank you for
Mm-hmm.
appearing on the Slave Ages podcast again. Always a pleasure to have you. You've contributed so
Yeah.
much to the podcast and also your
Right.
support about my book, Toto, the Band, Not the Dog.
Mm-hmm.
I will see you soon, and thank you
Yeah.
all for listening. Take care.
Bye.